So Demon Slayer has beat the entire comic book industry in sales. It is glorious. While you look at the comic book industry themselves, well, what are they doing? They're continuing to fall apart and collapse. But also, Viz Media is pushing censorship into manga. Yeah, Viz, you've made a huge mistake. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So there's a couple of things I want to look at today for this video. So first off, Kimetsu no Yaiba manga outsells the entire US comic market significantly. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to look at the comic book industry for a moment because as they continue to keep going, they continue to keep destroying themselves. We're going to get into that. And also Viz Media, because Viz Media is trying to push their puritan values onto Japan, and we're going to get into that. So we got a lot to go into here, but first off, I just wanted to apologize for being gone for as long as I have. Naturally, I would have had videos come out on Tuesday, but thing of it is that I had a lot of work to actually catch up on. I mean, like, my actual job, and I got most of it caught up, so there's that. So, if I'm gone for a couple of days, you'll understand that I'm working on things with my actual job. So I hope you all understand, and I do apologize for being gone as long as I have. So, but I'm back, so we're good to go. Now, let's talk a little bit about comics and manga sales for a minute. So as everybody knows by now, or at least most of you I'm sure are very aware, the comic book industry has been collapsing for a long time. They've been destroying themselves because rather than wanting to make fun comics that people can enjoy, what do they want to do? They want to make propaganda rather than actual entertainment that people enjoy. People want to see comics with their favorite characters going through good stories. They don't want to see politics in their comics. And this has been the big problem with the industry as a whole for years, and why it's collapsing now, because they don't learn from their mistakes, and they just continue to try to push their politics, and they continue to lose sales and destroy the industry. It's what continues to happen, and it's sad to see. Yikes, DC Comics is again cutting its line, as it has become known that as of March, only 34 single titles will be published. The news came with the release of DC Comics' March 2021 solicitations, which follows the Future State event in January and February, where it is learned Aquaman has been canceled indefinitely. And that's because the industry, well, what does it do? It doesn't learn from its mistakes, continues to hire people that don't care about comics, push their politics, and then ruin characters and stories that people love. Seriously, that's what they do. They push this stuff, they make these terrible stories that are just propaganda infested, and people don't want it. People want comics, but they don't want politics in their comics. So we see that yet again. Former DC Comics artist Ethan Van Sciver is right, as back in February 2019, Van Sciver said DC Comics would be cutting its line even further following DC Comics laying off its staff. And Ethan's been right. When he talks in his videos and live streams, he's been talking about this stuff. And the industry itself has been collapsing because of this. Because, for one, AT&T, they are only concerned about HBO Max. They don't care about comics. And, thing of it is that they wouldn't even care about cutting them. In fact, you look at how they've been trying to sell off DC before in the past, they don't care. It goes to show that they do not care about it. So, there's that. Well, here's another bit of news. DC cut their line down to 52 comics. Obviously, talent is going to get cut as well, and they are laying off 7 employees as of today. I'm sure more fat trimming will be coming. They probably just don't want a bloodbath all at once. We're going to see this get whittled down, which is true. It's what we've been seeing for a long time coming. Recently saw it suggested that AT&T may sell off DC Comics and license out the characters, another prediction made by Ethan Van Sciver. Regarding the 34 titles, we also see Van Sciver is right again, as it's basically only the popular characters from TV and the movies. And the reason why they've selected those is because those are the ones that will pick up a buck, and they know it. That's the ones that will gain them money, but that's not going to be enough, especially if their stories are not good. If they make terrible stories, well, you better believe people will not buy them then. That's how it is. And if you look at the titles here, the titles are mostly Batman. You have Batman, you have Superman, you have Wonder Woman, you have Flash and Justice League, and that's really about it for the most part. And here's the thing. If you look at what Marvel's doing, I think it's X-Men, I believe. I think it's X-Men that's doing this election right now. They're referencing, last year's election, and they're basically having this election because they're like, oh man, we have to be careful because it's a threat to our democracy. It's so bad. Who wants comics like that? Like nobody. This is why they don't sell. This is the problem, and this is why the industry is dying, because people don't want this propaganda, and this is why you're seeing this happen to the industry. And you look at it, this is why manga's winning, because look at manga for a minute. Kimetsu no Yaiba manga outsells the entire US comics market significantly. This is from Senkaku Complex. And the reason why they're doing this is because you look at manga, manga's so good because it's very entertaining, because it has lovable characters, it has enjoyable stories, it has great action, and people are all for that. That's where the comic book industry has just fell from that, and now they're all about politics, and nobody wants that. I mean, people want comics, but that's not what they want. They don't want their comics to be political. They want it to be fun and interesting and enjoyable. That's what people want. An article discussing the propaganda and failures of the Western comics industry has pointed out that the well-performing Kimetsu no Yaiba has sold more than 6 times the amount of comics that were purchased in the West back in 2019. That's sad. One book, one manga can outsell the entire comic book industry. That's how far the comic book industry in the West has fallen. That's how bad it is. Much like the games industry, the comics market in the West is oversaturated with works that cater to magical fairy dragons and attack helicopters who regard things as part of their personality, which is surmised to be the reason behind their inadequate profits. Such comics tend to insult the reader, as once beloved and iconic characters have their genetic makeup warped to suit a demographic that doesn't even consume comics. And that's true. I mean, you look at it, SJWs don't consume comics. They don't care about it. And they try to cater to people that do not support comics at all, that aren't even fans. But then the real fans, well, they attack them all the time. The thing of it is that they hire these hack writers, okay? And all they do is they push their politics. They try to ruin characters. They do this all the time. They make terrible stories. And here's the thing. When this is going on, when they're pushing politics and entertainment, when they're attacking the fans, well, they're showing how they don't care about their fans, which is disgusting. Fans are not going to support somebody that's going to attack them and treat them awful. Without the fans, when you look at it, comic book industry, for example, it wouldn't have become as big as it did in the first place, because without the fan support, it wouldn't have been anything. Everybody that has fans should be very grateful to them for their support. But of course, leave it to these hack writers that work within the comic book industry to not care and just continue to not learn from their mistakes and make profits go down. I mean, it's sad to see that this is what's happened to the industry. And you look at this, it is noted that the entire Western comics industry sold 15.5 million units in 2019. Most said to be manga and scholastic books. Meanwhile, Kimetsu no Yaiba only recently broke a record of having sold 100 million total comics. The article pointed out that only about 126 million people live in Japan. Some will obviously attribute this success to Japanese manga trying to make actual content instead of preaching about modern-day political topics or forcing readers to try and convert to a certain ideology. And this is why people are going to manga, because manga's fun. It's entertaining. People love the stories. People love the characters. That's why people are going to anime and manga more. And when you look at the comic book industry, well, what has the comic book industry become? It's become a mess. It's nothing but a bunch of political garbage that nobody cares about. And this is why you're going to continue to see people jump ship to manga, because they don't care about what the comic book industry is doing. But of course, you have articles that are out there trying to say otherwise, where they state things like this. Adult graphic novel sales reveal nearly 30% sales jump in 2020. 16.2 million adult graphic novels were sold in 2020. Yeah, that's a lot. You see, now you would think, well, yeah, that is a lot. And it is. But here's the thing. This article, the title itself, doesn't tell you what's mostly selling, though. That's the big thing here. They don't tell you what it is until you go and look at it. 16.2 million adult graphic novels were sold in print in 2020, according to a report from the publishing tracking service, the NPD Group. With those sales led by My Hero Academia, the graphic novels portion of the North American book industry jumped 29.1% compared to 2019. Yeah, you see what I mean? Because, look, manga is the one that's doing it. Manga is what's making the sales here. Which, like I said, the title of the article doesn't tell you that. Because, I mean, you look at everything here. Number 1, the boy, the male, the fox, and the horse. My Hero Academia, Volume 1. Strange Planet, My Hero Academia, Volume 2. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Volume 1. My Hero Academia, Volume 24. My Hero Academia, Volume 3. I mean, where's the superhero comics? You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying here, is that manga is what's selling it. They try to spin it like, oh man, the Western comic book industry is doing great, but you're seeing where manga is the one that's prevailing. And speaking of manga, we need to also talk about this, because with the success of manga, well, Viz Media themselves, they hired a man by the name of DJ Kirkland. Now, what was the issue with DJ Kirkland? Now, over a year ago, I talked about this man and the issues I had with him being hired, because he is huge on censorship. He has supported heavy censorship in the past, and he got hired into Viz. He stated himself that, oh, I promise I'll keep it to its original content. It won't be modified. And yet he's been modifying manga. And he also had a statement, if people may recall, when I talked about this, his statement was that the West was going to talk to Japan about this and about how they were going to appeal to Western audiences. See, he himself wants to push that censorship. And so there was a tweet here, and this person stated this: if you like manga, please don't support Viz or people like this person. They are starting to censor manga, and they also want to change manga in Japan. That will hurt a lot of mangaka. Now, naturally, I would show the art, but this art I can't show because of YouTube, but it shows a woman that has her shirt opened up, and it shows her bare chest. Well, it's been censored with a bra, and this guy was the one who put it in there. Now, do not contact him, do not bother him, leave him alone, don't attack him. But DJ Kirkland is very heavy on wanting to censor anime now. He's wanting to push that onto Japan, and he was in support of censoring games, which is absolutely frustrating. Goes to show you shouldn't support Viz anymore, because look at this, okay? This statement was brought up, and I believe this was on 4chan, I think. This was in this person's tweet. They had the screenshot, and this is what it stated. Visit Viz, because apparently that's what they do. Viz Media recently hired DJ Kirkland, an individual who regularly and vocally advocates for censoring or changing manga according to Western standards, and has asserted that there is going to be conversation between stakeholders in Japan and here when it comes to creating content that appeals to more Western audiences, to a position self-described by Kirkland as being close and personal to manga. Don't buy Viz, I guess. And with Kirkland there, I mean, I bet he's been someone who's been really pushing for that support while he's in there. I mean, yeah, he may have made statements when he was hired stating, oh, I'll keep it to its original content, I swear. No. I doubt that highly, considering he's such a big advocate for censorship. So I doubt that highly. And, this is the whole reason why Japan is now going to their own government to protect their freedom of expression, so that the West, for example, won't come in there and tell them how they can and can't make whatever they want to make, so that they can make their own material however they want to make it. You shouldn't have someone in there telling you how you can and can't make something, especially when you look at anime and manga. It's been so successful the way it is. Why fix something that's not broken? You know what I mean? But the Puritans want to come in there, but they don't want to fix it. They just want to make it worse, And they want to censor Japan's freedom of expression, which is absolutely disgusting that they want to do that. But it's good to see that Japan is standing up to them and that they're wanting to fight back to, ensure they keep their freedom of expression. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and make sure you were still subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there, and not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.